Hi everyone! Hi there! Do you still remember me? Yes, you should, because I was the one who talks about the history of Philippine architecture during the prehistoric time and pre-colonial time. So now we are about to discuss, or I am here to introduce you the Philippine architecture during the postmodern time or postmodern era in the Philippines. So alamin naman muna natin kung bakit nasabi natin postmodern, and let's define the postmodern architecture. So as we go back to the timeline, nagkaroon tayo ng prehistoric where the Filipinos were just about to create their dwellings due to the response of the phenomenology or the response of the nature. As transition goes by, they develop so much things such as creating dwellings using the vernacular items or anything that they can grab in the environment. Kaya naman, ang mga Espanyol or Spain ay nasakop ang Pilipinas, and because the change of norms, culture, and other aspects of society, it affects our architecture. So ayan, since the Spaniards came to the Philippines, they introduced us the military power because of these religious beliefs of Catholicism or Christianism. They introduced us the churches. Kaya naman, nag-iwan sila sa atin ng architecture and ng system of the society, which is ang reduksyon, ang pagkakaroon ng city hall, ng pamamahala, ng bayan, ng merkado, at napunta na tayo sa American. So after the invasion of Spanish in the Philippines, American introduced us the education, is more institution and another aspects that will grow our society. And also, because of that, neoclassicalism or neoclassicism was introduced in the Philippines. So most of our buildings created during the American period were defined or classified as neoclassicism or neoclassical architecture. As you can see, or as we go back before, some of the buildings in the Philippines were built with classical orders, columns, the shaft. You remember that in our history of architecture 1. So after the colonization of the Americans here, then Japanese came to us, and they did not last for a long time. And so some cultures were shared and gathered up, and then the Philippines able to attain the complete freedom from the colonizers. And that's why we are going to the transition of postmodern era or postmodern architecture. This is the time where the Philippines wants to reclaim their land and able to build our nation or nation building. And also, Philippines goes into transition of self-governing or the democratic and freedom. So, kaya naman, wala na tayong mga Espanyol at Amerikano sa tabi natin. We as Filipino, gusto na makabangon sa kahirapan na nagdanas natin noong tayo ay nasasakop. Kaya naman, ang mga designs ng architecture noon ay nabanggit na kanina ay ang neoclassical architecture. But suddenly, those important buildings left by our colonizers were destroyed because of the World War II. Kaya naman, nagkaroon tayo ng nation building again. And by the year of 1965 to 1986, Philippines did not attain the full freedom that they want because of the martial law, which is tinatawag noong bagong lipunan under the governance of President Marcos Sr. Mixture of international, neoclassical, and vernacular architecture were built here in the Philippines. Because of the freedom of doing what we want in the Philippines, we able to develop our artistic sides as Filipinos. Art movement and architectures were rise in the Philippines. Kaya naman, dahil sa pagkakaroon ng drastic change, society change. Because no one controls us Filipinos feel what Americans and Spaniards felt. Because we have this feeling before na gusto natin maging malaya tayo. Because we are in a farm, we are mga alipin, we are Indios, Sangleng, and other stereotypes made by the colonizers. Gusto natin, or yung spike natin para magkaroon ng freedom ay nabuhos after the colonization. And that is why our society changed drastically. And then in architecture, we developed this tropical modern style. Business and populations rises, land costs were increased. Kaya naman, dahil sa sudden change here in the Philippines, nagmahal ang mga lupa. Dahil sa pag-introduce ng Americans ng education, we as Filipino, knows our boundaries, knows where we belong after the education. And that is why Filipinos from the rural places goes in the urban places to work, to develop. And now, we able to develop the Central Business District during this time, the CBD. Although we have this concept before, like the Mercado, Plaza, which introduced us ng mga Spanish during this postmodern era, were increased. Dahil sa dumami ang population ng Philippines, nagkaroon din tayo ng more education. A CBD is a commercial district business center of the city, which contains the commercial spaces, generates works for the public. An example of CBD's rise and rose in the Philippines is the Makati. It was a farmland before owned by Ayala, but after the Americans and after having the freedom in the Philippines, the Ayala made it into CBD or as income generator. Also, adding is the Ortigas. So, in-establish ang Ortigas noong 1960s because napakalawak ng lugar na ito. And this is the second important business field in Metro Manila as of now. Mas malawak ito, mas malaking na ibibigay in terms of economy ang Ortigas kesa sa Makati. We developed what we call residential spaces with restricted access, or what we call the gated community system. Subdivisions, housing, or villages is under this type. No? So, kaya naman, nagkaroon ng indicator ng social status because CBD arises, people tendency to become wealthy. And therefore, people for themselves wants to change their life, change their lifestyle. And they want something wealthy, something that they own. And with privacy, security, and quality of life. And this time, nagkaroon din tayo ng value sa properties. Dahil sa drastic inflation of properties in the city, sudden changes, increases of tax, anything about political and social changes, Filipino eagers to become wealthy and develop their spaces or their lots into commercial, and that is why. But the problem here is mahal ang lupa. Maliit man ang kanilang nabili, mahal pa din. But they want it to become an income generator. So, how can they build so much clustered spaces that could generate them an income? And that is why skyscraper were invented or created during this time. Because of inflation of properties in the city, offices needs to be compacted and designed a vertical adjustment to fill the problem of spaces insufficiency. So the void in the vertical were made stacked up. And therefore, offices with multiple level were created. And that is the skyscraper. Skyscraper during this time were follows classical order to ensure the integrity of the building. Because we don't have this contemporary time of building a skyscraper, we stick on what we had, the resources and technologies before, which is the classical thing. And also the changes in the society culture. Filipino developed space promoting a civil harmony and culture, and therefore malls were introduced. But did you know that the first mall were created in 1956 in the Minnesota? And it was introduced us, to Filipinos, by the Americans. And we developed a more Filipino context. Religion and churches were free to operate independently because we gained our independence from the colonizers. Now, as Filipino, meron na tayong kalayaan pumili ng ating religion. And that is why the rises of other religion in their building happened during this time. This is the Philippine High School for Arts. So as you can see, may silhouette siya ng vernacular architecture of the Philippines. mukha siyang house ng mga Ibaloy or Ifugao house na triangular lang. And this is the Philippine Pavilion made by Arellano. So ayan, makikita natin na mukha siyang salakot, which is from the Philippines. Ang forms natin noon ay naging hindi na basta isang rectangular. During that time, introduces new forms for us to be mesmerized by the beauty that we had in the Philippines. And then, this is the Tanghalang Bansa. So, nagkaroon na tayo ng multifaceted cultural vision this time. Kaya naman, the Filipino architectures were also introduced the new way of designing. Not just about the exterior facade, but also inside or the interior aspect. And as you can see, para siyang bahay on the top of the slits, which were inspired by the pre-colonial era or pre-colonial architecture of the Philippines. Diba ang mga Philippine houses noon ay mga nakaangat sa lupa. And this gave us the illusion of volume na nakaangat sa lupa. This is the Philippine Heart Center of Quezon City in 1975. So ayun, makikita din natin na very modern ang type or ang atake ng isang building from using these vertical and horizontal shapes. No? Hindi lang siya nagmumukhang isang square, unlike before. Although, bago pa man tayo sa kupin ng Espanyol, ang Islamic architecture ay nag-foster na dito sa Philippines before, and we have discussed it in our lessons, right? So, this time in postmodern era, ang mga Islamic architecture, ang mga Islamic mosques were transitions din, no? Nagkaroon din sila ng transfigurations into forms from their very Islamic architecture into the postmodern Islamic architecture. One of these examples is the Masjid Al-Adab in Quiapo, Manila. So, they introduced some of the new way na makakapagpa-resemblance pa rin ng sila ay Islam, or they have this Muslim culture by mixing with the modern times. One of the oldest mall in the Philippines is the Ali Mall. It was built in 1976 sa Quezon City. And this is the Philippine International Convention Center. So, inside the CCP, no, or sa PCC, so ito yung dream ng mga college na makapasok dito at itong kagraduate. It was built in 1976. So, ayan, makikita natin yung changes from the old type of architecture into this modern type na nagiging mas massive and mas volumeable yung mga forms natin. And because we define this postmodern architecture, postmodern era, a mixture of old and the new, and the vernacular architecture, Coconut Palace were built in 1970. So, nakikita naman natin ang pagkakaroon ng mixture ng new items, vernacular items, fused into the modern types or the modern buildings. So, that is why Coconut Palace were made. So, ayan, yung roof nito ay mixed style, and this is the King's Court II. So, makikita natin dito yung fusion, no? Or yung pagkakaroon ng mix of the neoclassicism and neoclassical architecture into modern. So, makikita natin yung arches and the form itself ay resemblance sa classical architecture. But still, they want to introduce the modern type. So, they introduce the glass cladding, or nagkaroon sila ng parang curtain wall dyan, which is the glass, no? So, new items plus the old ways fused. This is the key words second of the postmodernism. Religion choices doesn't matter so much before because we have this freedom from the Christianity, and therefore other religion emerged or evolved in the Philippines. And this is the INC Central Temple, or INC ay ang Templo Central. It was built during the Commonwealth era of 1984 or the postmodern era. So, ayan. Meron tayo ditong resemblance of Baroque architecture plus the modern ways. Kanina, nabanggit natin ang Ali Mall was the first mall, or was one of the first mall in the Philippines. And this is the SM North EDSA. It was built in 1985 and it was the very first super mall in the Philippines. So ayan, during that time, ito yung pinakamalaki na pinupuntahan because of the population here increasing in the Philippines. And also the mall became crowded, and that is why they introduced a complex mall, super mall or super Market. And this is the SM North EDSA. Kita din natin ang fusion ng old ways into new ways sa Asian Development Bank in the Philippines. So sa facade niya, di ba, may mga arches and also massive volume shapes, no? Kitang-kita natin na very postmodern architecture siya. And it was built on the latter part of postmodern era, which is the 1990. And one of the latter part, no? So, in 1989 to 1995, nag-emerge ang Pectite Towers. So, makikita natin sa facade niya yung massive volume, which is the characteristic of modern or postmodern architecture, and the use of cladding materials or glass cladding materials, steels, concrete. Ayan, yung shape niya and yung kanyang form, very resemblant sa mga old ways, pero they are they want to look it into modern way. And these are many examples of skyscrapers emergence during the postmodern architecture. And now we are the one who benefits from it. Kaya naman, this postmodern era in the Philippines were the way of transition. Kaya magpasalamat tayo sa ating mga architects noon because they able to make these types of buildings which became our inspiration as a future architects. And this is the importance of us, the future architects, to retain, respect, and sustain the buildings that were created before our birth. And that is why the heritage conservation is important. Following this postmodern architecture is the contemporary time, and the contemporary time composed of so much ideas, so much advancements. And by this time, the buildings during the postmodern era were getting old. And it is upon us, future architects, to love it because it serves its function in society, and it was a statement of the Philippines during that time, and during this time, and the future generation. Architecture doesn't have always to build things that we want to build, skyscrapers, to build the things or the imaginations. We are also responsible to retain what we had because it has significance. We will not attain the knowledge, the forms of what we imagine right now, the ideas and concepts that we have right now without them. Respecting the heritage is important. So after this history of architecture for learning about the Philippine architecture, we hope as future architects to bring this lesson and able to merge in our next subject and practice it when we became an architect in the Philippines. So now, that's what we had. That's what we have in the Philippine architecture, our history of architecture. See you soon on the heritage conservation. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope to talk with you a lot more soon on my future videos. So goodbye, and don't forget to drink your water. Goodbye, and thank you so much.